Welcome to our English podcast. Let's practice speaking together.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Just Speak English podcast. I'm Hailey.
And I'm Chase. Really glad you're here today.
So, quick question. How many times have you said, I'll study English tomorrow? And then tomorrow came, and you said it again.
Every single day for about 2 years. I was the world champion of starting tomorrow.
Today we're talking about procrastination, but from a completely different angle than you might expect. Because the problem is not that you're lazy. We already talked about that in episode 5. The problem is how your brain is wired. And once you understand that, you can actually do something about it.
Subscribe if you haven't yet. We're here every week. Let's get into it. 4 words for today.
First, trigger. A trigger is something that causes a reaction or starts a process. My trigger for procrastinating is opening my phone first thing in the morning. After that, the whole day is gone.
Second, friction. Friction, in this context, means the resistance or difficulty that makes it harder to start something. There's too much friction between me and my English practice. I need to make it easier to start.
Third, accountability. Accountability means being responsible for your actions and answerable to someone, yourself or others. Having a study partner gave me the accountability I needed to actually show up every day.
And fourth, reward. A reward is something positive you give yourself after completing a task. It reinforces the behavior. I reward myself with 15 minutes of my favorite show after every English practice session. Okay, trigger, friction, accountability, reward. Let's go. Hailey, I want to start with something that I think is really important. Procrastination is not a time management problem, is it?
No, and this took me a long time to understand. Procrastination is an emotion management problem. We don't avoid tasks because we're bad at managing time. We avoid them because they make us feel something uncomfortable. Anxiety, boredom, self-doubt, and our brain wants to escape that feeling. So it finds something easier to do instead.
So when someone says, I'll study English later, they're not choosing to waste time. They're choosing to escape an uncomfortable feeling right now. The studying feels hard or uncertain, or maybe even a little scary, and the phone feels easy, so the brain picks the phone.
Exactly. And here's the thing, you can't fight that with willpower alone. Willpower runs out. Everyone's does. What you can do is change the conditions so that starting feels easier than not starting.
And how do you do that?
The first way is to reduce friction. Make your English practice so easy to access that there's almost no effort to begin. If you want to listen to English podcasts every morning, put the app on your home screen. Have the episode already queued up the night before. If you want to practice speaking, have a topic written on a sticky note next to your desk. Remove every obstacle between you and the start.
That's so smart. Because usually, the hardest part is not the studying itself, it's the 5 minutes before. The opening the app, finding the lesson, deciding what to do. If you remove those 5 minutes, you remove most of the resistance.
Exactly. And the second strategy is to identify your triggers. What sets off your procrastination? For me, it's sitting down without a clear plan. The moment I open my laptop and don't know exactly what I'm going to do, I start checking email, then social media, then suddenly it's been an hour.
Oh, I know that path very well. It always ends in the same place.
Always. So now I write down the night before exactly what I'm going to practice the next day. One specific thing, not study English. Something like, listen to 10 minutes of the podcast and write down 5 new words. Specific, concrete, done.
That specificity is everything. Vague goals create vague action. Specific goals create specific action. Study English is a vague goal. Repeat these 10 sentences out loud after Hailey. That's a specific action. You can start that in 30 seconds.
And what about accountability? Because I think a lot of people try to rely only on themselves, and that's really hard.
Really hard. Because when you only answer to yourself, it's very easy to negotiate. I'll do it tonight instead of this morning. I'll do double tomorrow. You become your own worst enabler. But when someone else is expecting you, a study partner, a teacher, even just someone you told your goal to, suddenly skipping has a cost.
And that cost doesn't have to be big. You don't need a formal accountability partner. You can just post in the comments of this podcast. Say, I'm going to practice English for 10 minutes every day this week. Just saying it publicly changes something in your brain.
There's actually research on this. When you say a goal out loud or write it down for others to see, your brain starts treating it as an identity commitment, not just a plan. And people protect their identity. They don't want to be the person who said they would do something and didn't.
And finally, rewards. This one sounds simple, but most people skip it completely. When you finish your English practice, do something you enjoy immediately. Not later, not as a general treat, right after. That connection between effort and reward is what trains your brain to want to do it again tomorrow.
So you're saying I should eat chocolate after every English lesson?
I mean, if that works for you, yes. Your brain doesn't judge. It just learns.
Incredible. This is the most motivating advice I've ever received.
The reward doesn't have to be food, of course. It can be anything you enjoy. Music, a show, a walk, a conversation with a friend. The key is that it happens right after, and it feels good. That's how habits are built. Not through discipline alone, through a loop of trigger, action, reward.
So to wrap up the strategies, reduce friction by making it easier to start. Identify your personal procrastination triggers. Build accountability by telling someone your goal, and reward yourself immediately after every session. These 4 things together are more powerful than any amount of willpower.
And remember, the goal is not to become someone who never procrastinates. That person doesn't exist. The goal is to make starting easy enough that even on your worst days, you do a little something. Because a little something every day beats a lot something once a week. Every time.
Quick vocab recap. Trigger. Something that starts a reaction or behavior. Friction. The resistance that makes it hard to begin. Accountability. Being responsible and answerable for your actions. And reward. Something positive that reinforces a behavior.
4 strategies from today. Reduce friction, identify your triggers, build accountability, and reward yourself right after. Pick the one that feels most useful for you and try it this week.
Comment below. What is your biggest procrastination trigger when it comes to English? Tell us. You might help someone else recognize theirs too.
Next episode, small talk in English for daily life. Super practical, super useful for real conversations. Don't miss it.
Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It's completely free and it helps us a lot. See you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.